Welcome to another edition of 80s Hairband World. Today, 80s Hairband World is going to go into the life of Kasem, the national radio countdown show host for American Top 40 Radio. In the late 80s, I was listening to the radio, listening to this countdown, the American Top 40 countdown, thinking I've got to do something with music. I want to study music, I want to learn music, maybe one day maybe go into radio, whether it's professionally or online. Basically, he inspired a lot of people who are radio producers, announcers for shows all around the world, whether it's professionally or internet. And today we're going to look back on the icon, Kasem, read you a little something about him, and talk about what kind of music we're going to be playing today. The music that we're going to be playing is Top 40 American Top 40 artists, pop, rap, hip hop, and soul and R&B. There are lots of artists that he inspired that made their careers huge with the Top 40 radio. If it wasn't for these artists today that we hear on this radio, we would not have the Top 40. We would not have artists today if it wasn't the Top 40 radio. Okay, Kasem was born in Detroit, Michigan on April 27, 1932. To LeBeast Crew's immigrant parents, they settled in Michigan where they worked as grocers. In 1940s, Make Believe Ballroom reported inspired Kasem to follow a career in radio and later host a national radio hits countdown show. Kasem got his first experience in the radio covering sports at Northwestern High School in Detroit. He then went to Wayne State University for college. While at Wayne State, he voiced children on radio programs, such as The Lone Ranger and Challenge of the Yukon. In 1952, Kasem was drafted into the U.S. Army, sent to Korea. There he worked as a DJ announcer for the Armed Forces Radio Korea Network. On July 4, 1970, Kasem, along with Don Busany, Tom Rounds, and Ron Jacobs, launched the weekly radio program American Top 40. At the time, Top 40 radio was on the decline as DJs prefer to play album-oriented progressive rock. Loosely based on the TV program Your Hit Parader, the show counted down from number 40 on the pop charts to number 1. The first number 1 was Three Dog Nights, Mama Told Me Not to Come, based on the Billboard Hot 100 each week. The show, however, was not just about the countdown. Kasem mixed in a biography, information about the artist, flashback, and long-distance dedication segments where he would read letters written by listeners to dedicate songs of their choice so far away loved ones. He would often include trivia facts about songs he played and artists whose work he showcased. Frequently, he would mention a trivia fact about an unnamed singer before a commercial break, then provide the name of the singer after returning from the break. Kasem would end the program with his signature sign-off, "Keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars." It's almost the same thing that we have here with 80s Hairband World. If you want to be somebody, you better wake up and pay attention. Basically, it's the same thing. Keep your feet on the ground, pay attention, and reach for the stars, meaning reach for your gold. The show debuted on 7 stations, but on the back of Kasem's always friendly and upbeat baritone voice, it soon went nationwide. In the late 70s, the show expanded from 3 hours a week to 4. American Top 40's success spawned several imitators, including a weekly half-hour music video television show, America's Top 10, hosted by Kasem himself. When we first went on the air, I thought we would be around for at least 20 years. He later remarked, "I knew the formula would work. I knew the people tuned in to find out what was the number 1 record was." Due to his great knowledge of music, Kasem became known as not just a disc jockey, but also a musical historian. In 1988, Kasem left American Top 40 due to the contract dispute with ABC Radio Network. He signed a 5-year, $15 million contract with Westwood One and started Casey's Top 40, which used a different chart to determine the top 40. He also hosted two shorter versions of the show, Casey's Hot 20 and Casey's Countdown. During the late 1990s, Kasem hosted the Radio Hall of Fame introduction ceremony. From 1989 to 1998, Kasem hosted Nick at Night's New Year's Eve Countdown, the top reruns of the year. He also made cameo appearances on Saved by the Bell and Alf in the early 1990s. The original American Top 40 hosted by Shadoe Stevens after Kasem's departure was canceled in 1995. Kasem regained the rights to the name in 1997. The show was back on the air in 1998 on the AM/FM network, later acquired by Premium Radio Networks. He retired in 2004, handing off the show to Ryan Seacrest. Also, at the end of the year, Kasem recorded several holiday-themed programs to air on stations that flipped to all Christmas for the holidays. Kasem continued to host two shorter spin-off versions of American Top 40, American Top 20, and American Top 10. As you know, Ryan Seacrest is also the host for American Idol, as well as your current host for the American Top 40 Countdown each week. In April 2005, a television special called American Top 40 Live aired on the Fox network, hosted by Seacrest, with Kasem appearing on the show. In 2008, Kasem did the voiceover for WGN Americans Out of Sight Retro Night. He was also the host of the short-lived American version of 100% during the 1998 and 1999 season. Kasem retired from American Top 20 and American Top 10 on July 4th, 2009, and both shows ended on that day after his 39-year run in the countdown business ended. He briefly appeared on his daughter Curry's podcast. And of course, the last song that was played on his countdown was Shinedown Second Chance, which is a great tune and a great band. He quit the Scooby-Doo show in 1995 when asked to voice Shaggy in the Burger King commercial, returning in 2002 after negotiating to have Shaggy become a vegetarian. On June 15, 2014, Kasem died at St. Anthony's Hospital in Gig Harbor, Washington, at the age of 82. He was survived by his wife, 4 children, and 4 grandchildren. Casey's body was handed over to the widow Jean, who would be making funeral arrangements. The one who told doctors not to feed him anymore and to let him die, according to his 2007 will that he signed by the court, stating he does not want to be left like a vegetable in the hospital. Yes, he signed a will stating 2007 that if he was to be ever come into the state like he did here, not to be in the hospital on a ventilator as a vegetable, and to have that removed. Okay, so today we are going to be hearing some artists such as Celine Dion featuring R. Kelly, Mariah Carey, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Johnny Gill, Naughty by Nature, Tupac featuring Dr. Dre, George Michael featuring Elton John, Michael Bolton, NSYNC, In Vogue, TLC, Bonnie Raitt, a group in the early 90s, Rhythm Syndicate. They were known for their hit song Passion, Passion. You might be hearing stuff like from Wilson Phillips. Next, there's a whole bunch of top 40 artists that I could play on this show that I like, I grew up, you guys grew up with. But unfortunately, this is going to be a part 1, part 4 going to be a part 4 segment. The first segment's going to go looking back of the top 20, the top 100 countdown, and the top number ones on the countdown. Looking back, what was on the top 40 artists, what songs aired on number one during 1989, 1990, 1992, 91, 92. So we're going to be taking a look at those artists. Also, you might be thinking about, I'm also thinking about maybe doing the pop, rap, hip hop, R&B, soul, maybe like have a special show for that, and maybe taking back to the retro nights of the 80s and 90s, back in time when this is popular, which will feature artists from 1980 to 1999, and maybe have a name, calling it maybe 80s and 90s Dance Party Mansion, where, and there'll be a website, there will be a Facebook page, there will be a show, the date of the show, when it's going to air, your request on what artist you want to listen to from the pop, rap, hip hop, soul, R&B. We would still have the 80s Hair Band World Show featuring the hair metal bands of 80s and 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and in between and after. So we would have two shows be running on this 80s Hair Band World Show. So that might be something you can think about. I will let you know more on Facebook about it. Get your opinion how you want to do that. Maybe, but I thought about doing that because I really, really want to give these artists a little listen to from fans that want to hear these songs, what they miss, maybe have them tune in. Oh, I used to hear that when I was a kid. I can relive my childhood or teenage years, or take it back to their youth, kind of thing. Some of these artists are still out there today making music, like Mariah Carey, R. Kelly, Madonna, Janet Jackson. Some other ones might be Michael Bolton. Some of those are still out there, but they're not, they have made albums and maybe promote their new music as well as their old, like I do the 80s Hairband World. So I will let you know more on 80s Hairband World Facebook. For now, we're going to be tuning in to some songs, and our first song that we're going to get into the program will be Johnny Gill, Rub You the Right Way.